Welcome. This is Tad the Diet Coach, and with me is IFBB Pro physique competitor Brian Epstein. And I know Brian for a couple years now. We've worked together for what, 2 years, 2.5 years? Mm-hmm. And Brian has a really great story, and I thought we would share this with everybody. Brian wanted to share his story with people, and I'll let him sort of start it out. But he and I, when I first started working with you, Brian, you were, I think you were a little hesitant on whether or not you were going to be able to make it to a pro level, or even if that was even a possibility. You just wanted to get in shape, look your best for your son and so forth. But why don't you tell people some of the things that motivated you and how you got started way back in the beginning? Because I've read through some of the stuff you sent me about your story, and it's a fantastic story. So why don't you start at the beginning, and then let's sort of work from there and tell everybody exactly how you started and where you went from there.
Okay, well, I was embarrassed to actually let people know how far I've come, because the before pictures are pretty embarrassing. I want people to see them. I thought they would think less of me, but the more I've been around the fitness community, I realized that you can inspire other people by showing them how far you came.
Yeah, and I've looked at some of those before pictures before that we started working together, because you were doing some things on your own for a couple of years, and wow, Pudgikins.
Yeah, I took the pictures when I was like getting ready for a show, but not when I was on disability and overweight and completely deconditioned. But I'll start with the beginning on how I got into fitness. When I was in college, I had a girlfriend for 3 years, and she was the first love I ever had, and she broke up with me, and she broke my heart. I was always very athletic, but I didn't have a good body, had a pear-shaped body, and I decided that, hey, I don't want girls to break up with me, especially the ones I would
not over your body, right?
I would like to improve myself. At least I can make myself better physically.
Right.
So I started working out, and I liked it. I was going to chiropractic school, and a lot of guys were healthy, and they were lifting weights, so I was learning how to do all the exercises, and then I learned how to eat right. And by the time I was 23, I was about 165 pounds with a 31-inch waist. I was built well. I was eating back in the 90s. It was all protein, carbs, and no fat.
So remember, I want everybody to know this, because you don't look it. Now, I might look it a little more than you these days, but you and I are the same age.
I'm 43 years old. Yeah. I'll be 44 in September.
Yep. Yes, I'm 43. I'll be 44 in June. So you and I, we would have went to high school together. So when you talk about back in the day, way back when, that's like the 80s and the early 90s for us.
That's right.
That's when some of these people, that's when some of these guys in the industry were born.
It's true. It's true. And I got to compete against these guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was very happy. I didn't eat dessert. I was very disciplined. I worked out. I ate right, and I was happy. And I always maintained like a 31-inch waist, and my weight stayed pretty constant. Now, I was very into working out, but bodybuilding was not a possibility for me. You know, like I said, I was 160, 165 pounds. I was never a big guy, but I had a nice physique. And actually, if the physique division was around then, I wouldn't have done well knowing what I knew, that limited amount of knowledge, but I had that kind of build. And then the thing happened. At 32, I was on my way to work to treat patients, and a drunk driver slammed into my door at 50 miles an hour. So you
were working out. You were pretty serious into working out to improve your body after high school and stuff. And then, and how far did you develop your body before you got in this accident?
I went 9 years working out without taking a break, working out 5 times a week. I did cardio probably 3 times a week, and I knew not to eat fatty foods. Okay. So it was working out pretty well, but I was nothing like I am now. But to me, I was always determined to look good on the beach. Whenever the beach came, the summer came, I wanted to be one of the guys.
So you really were one of the first physique competitors out there. You got a beach body. You want to look good with your shirt off. And exactly. On the beach.
Like, I'd have to admit it. I do push-ups and sit-ups before I go to the beach. Like I was a little bit of a head case, but I guess that's kind of what it takes to be a competitor.
So when you got hit by a car?
Yeah, so it was a pickup truck, 50 miles an hour, slammed into my door. I got jarred. My head got thrown. I had my seatbelt on. I was dizzy, headaches, neck pain, back pain. And the neck pain in the back, and the headaches went away, but the back pain got worse and worse. And then my legs started throbbing. So I got an MRI, and it showed a large broad-based herniation. So I went for physical therapy, and within 2 visits, the disc was completely compressed against the nerve at L4, L5, and I was completely incapacitated.
So now, this is ironic because you're a chiropractor.
Yes, totally ironic. because I'm a chiropractor. But I knew exactly what it was. I'm very educated in this matter. And one thing I didn't want to do right away was get back surgery, because
Right.
half the people that get back surgery need another back surgery within 5 years.
Right.
And I didn't want to be a statistic. I had a lot of patients with scars on their backs. So I was going to wait it out and figure out if there's a treatment that would work for me. But anytime I shifted my weight even slightly, my leg would go on fire. I'm talking 10 out of 10 pain, left lateral foreleg, which is between the knee and the ankle. And I would tell people it feels like Rambo took his big, scary knife, stuck it in the fire until it turned red, and then put the whole thing sideways onto my leg. And that's what it would feel like anytime I would shift my weight. So I spent a year and a half in bed taking painkillers, which I never took before in my life. And the only time I got out of bed was to go to the bathroom and to eat. And it would take me 15 minutes to get to the bathroom. Like putting on my socks and shoes was impossible. It was a nightmare, and it was getting to me.
And you were in bed for a year, you said?
Yeah, I would get out a year and a half just to go to the bathroom. And I went to get, I had friends that were taking care of me, so I had 3 epidurals. They drove me to the hospital.
Wow.
I had a procedure where they melted the disc. They melted the gel inside my disc. It's called a nucleoplasty, but none of this stuff worked. And ironically, on the way home from the nucleoplasty procedure, we were listening to the sports radio station, and there was an advertisement for spinal decompression therapy. And that's a special traction table, computerized, that changes pressures. That the whole goal is to create a vacuum-like effect that'll suck the disc material back to the midline where it's supposed to be, off the nerve.
So now, back up one step. So you were pretty much bedridden for like a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And so, what did that do to your body? Because you had been working out really seriously, and then all of a sudden,
I was seriously for 9 years. So it took a while for it to start to look bad. But it's almost like I woke up one day and it was bad. It was weird. Like I was maintaining, and then suddenly pants didn't fit anymore, and I went to about 175, 180 pounds. My waist got up to like a 34.
What were you at before?
I'm sorry?
What were you at before? If you went to 170, you were what?
Waist 130. Waist 30, weight like 165. And so I gained like 15 pounds, and the muscle was turning to fat. It was getting bad. But a year and a half, I was still keeping it together a little bit, but I was deteriorating.
Right.
So when I went for the spinal decompression therapy, within 2 months, the guy told me my leg pain would go away because the disc was going to get off the nerve. And the leg pain got 50% better within 2 months. And then after 6 months, the leg pain was gone. Now, during this year and a half, I had many times to think, to talk to God, and to, ask him, please don't let me go through my life like this. It was just completely a horrible thing. So the fact that my leg pain went away, I didn't want it to ever come back again. So that meant I wasn't going to work out. I was not going to take a chance of that happening to me again, because my back still hurt a lot, but it was the leg pain that was debilitating. So I was able to live my life, not work out, have back pain, deal with it. I had to take painkillers. I was taking 5 milligrams of Percocet twice a day, like morning and night. So it wasn't a lot. I never got addicted to it per se, like I didn't get a buzz, but I needed it. I was taking 800 milligrams ibuprofen 3 times a day, all kinds of bad stuff. I knew it wasn't good for me, but that's the only way that I could really survive. So after 7 years of not working out and being deconditioned, I ballooned up to about 205 pounds.
Yes.
My waist, I was wearing 36s, but I was just a muffin top. I couldn't tuck my shirts in. I had to, what you do when as you get fat, you blouse some more, you blouse some more, you blouse some more. Well, then I was just untucked.
You're like, fuck it, this is the way it is.
Gigantic spare tire. It was like a truck tire. And you'll show everyone a picture of it. And this is what I was really embarrassed to post, because I used to be very fit. I used to look very good. I took pride in my appearance. So anytime I went out, like to the beach over the summer, if I went, I always wore a shirt. It was really, I didn't let it affect me because I'm a happy person in general, but I didn't like it. And I just knew that I couldn't work out because I didn't want to re-injure. I didn't want to be like that again. But then when my son was 6 months old, I looked at myself in the mirror and I just said, I don't want my son to look at me as his role model.
So now,
out of shape, debilitated, not working out person.
How old is your son now? How old is your son now?
Now he's 5.5.
So this was like
your journey. Literally, the picture that I'm going to show you is 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
So when he was 6 months old, that's when I decided I'm going to tighten up my diet, and I'm going to do the perfect push-up.
So this has been a 5-year journey, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least I don't have these man boobs, because they really were. I mean, I laid on my side, and this was over here. It was horrible. It was horrible. So I decided that first I would strengthen my chest and my arms a little bit, and I would lose some weight, and then I would try to strengthen my core so I could do some things. So I lost 25 pounds in 5 months doing some shakes, protein shakes, and sensible meals. Not eating like a competitor. It was like shake for breakfast, shake for lunch, sensible dinner, starving all day.
It sounds like that Slim Fast commercial with Tommy Lasorda. Hey, I get to.
If you want to know the truth, I didn't market it, but I used it because I think it's a good product. So I got to that point. My body didn't look good enough that I would take my shirt off at the beach. But it looked way better. So I'll have a picture to show you how I looked there.
Yeah, I'll show everybody the pictures.
So then I decided to try P90X. I saw an infomercial, and I'm like, that looks pretty good. I see a lot of stuff that'll strengthen my core, strengthen my body overall, and I think that I'll look better. So I actually did that for 2 years. I was on P90X. I just chose the discs I liked. My body looked good, not great, but enough that I wasn't embarrassed. I looked good for a 39. No, at that time I was 41 years old. I looked better than most 41-year-old guys. So I was happy. I started dating a great girl, and she sometimes competed in the NPC doing bikini. And I went to a show to support her. I thought it was awesome how her body changed, and I thought it was such a mental challenge. And then I saw it. I saw these guys wearing board shorts on stage, and I'm like,
that's me.
What is this? No, what is this? What are these guys doing here? And someone explained to me that that's the physique division, and that's been out for a couple of years. And after the show, I told my girlfriend, I said, I want to do a physique competition. And she said, you know, it's a lot harder than it looks. I said, I used to work out all the time. I'm a chiropractor. I know what I'm doing. No problem. So I dieted down the way I thought was right. And 3 weeks out, I contacted you for my first show. And I
remember.
There's a lot of good press or chat room talk, or basically search diet coach, and you show up and people say that you're very attentive, that you know, everybody doesn't get the same thing, all positive stuff, which is a fact. You know, you give your time to people because you feel they're paying you and they deserve your time, not that it's just money in your pocket.
Right.
But they deserve it. So in 3 weeks, I remember what you said to me. I sent you my pictures, you got off the phone, you sent me a plan, and in the subject of the email or the body, it said, this is gonna hurt, but we need to tighten you up. And it was like fish, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a day. I was never eating 6 times a day, packing my food with me everywhere. And in 3 weeks, you put me in condition. I was in condition. I went to a show in Lehigh Valley. It was the Pennsylvania State Championships. And it was an open show, 5 guys. I'm 42. Oh, wait, I'm 41, almost 42. The next oldest guy is 27. And I came in 4th place out of 5 guys. And I felt pretty good about it, and I actually got to ask the judges, you know, what I could do to improve.
What'd they say?
They said that your conditioning is great, but you need to get bigger. Said, well, you know, I only do P90X, and one of them laughed.
Yes.
They said, why do you only do P90X? Well, I've got good news for you. You're going to improve.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging, you know, that I know that I can get better. So I started lifting weights. I did a show 2 months later. I think I came in 3rd in the Open, and there was a Masters with 2 guys, and I came in 2nd, which sounds good if you don't tell people there's 2 guys. But, you know, I was still
second.
I came in 2nd. I got a trophy. I got the urge just to compete. I love game day. That's what I call the day of the show. Game day.
That's right.
Especially because my coach lets me eat candy before my pump. So then I was to do one more show in a month. It was going to be the Eastern USA's, but there was a big storm, and they made it 2 weeks later, and I was so amped up to compete. I flew all the way to Las Vegas.
That's right.
Against 17 guys in the Las Vegas Classic, and I made the first call out, and I got 5th place, and then I was sold. You know, I'm like, maybe I could be good at this, you know, maybe. So I had 5 months to get better, because I set a show date for the Steve Stone Metropolitan, which was the first show of 2013 that I was going to do. Mm-hmm. And once again, there were 17 Masters Physique guys. I never thought I was good enough to compete in the Open. I didn't want to even think that I was good. I wasn't cocky. I wasn't full of myself. I'm just trying to do well in the Masters division, be one of the better old guys. that was it. That was a goal. And top 5 was my goal for that show. And I saw these guys backstage, and I was like, ooh, maybe top 5 is a stretch. These guys look amazing. So we all go out there, we do our thing. I was not a good poser, I admit that. I didn't even know how to contract my abs right.
I know we worked a long time to get those abs just right. I remember you really worked on it real hard.
Yeah, that's the main thing I think everyone's going to see improved on me, besides a little bit of size, is the amount of work I put in, like 2 hours a week of abs. So anyway, so they did the first call out, they put me in the center. And they moved people around, and they left me in the center. And then we walked off, and I was like...
I remember I wasn't able to go to that show, and you texted me like after the prejudgment was over. You said they put me in the center. Is that good?
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't even know what the IFBB was. Remember, I had to have Tawny explain to me the IFBB is the professional league, the NPC is the amateur league. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Never did I even think I could be in the IFBB. I'm just competing against old guys, but here I am. I won. They ended up making me the winner, in the finals, and I was like, whoa, look at this. So I set a goal to get a pro card. So I did the Pittsburgh Championships a month later, and I won my height class in the Masters, but I didn't win the overall. There was another guy who beat me, which also fuels the fire. You don't want to think you're too good.
Right.
I won that, and I won that. I'm glad that I didn't win the overall, because I worked that much harder.
Absolutely.
So the goal was, after that, I was going to do Team Universe and hopefully get a pro card, coming first or second in the Masters division. Still, I just want a pro card. That was my goal. Pro card, I'm done. So at Team U, I actually didn't do as well as I had hoped. I came in 5th in the 35 plus and didn't even place in the 40 plus. There's a lot of great guys. I thought I looked really good. You
did. You looked really, really good, actually.
My goal is every show look better than the last. So no matter what you place, you can't get disappointed. And I didn't get disappointed.
No, that's a big show. That's a nice show. The Team Universe is a big show, and there's a lot of people vying for those cards. And you did a fantastic job. I remember. I was there.
Yeah, thank you. So then Masters Nationals was 12 days later. So I'm like, okay, I got to go to Pittsburgh.
I was there.
And I actually came in 2nd in the 35 and 2nd in the 40-year-olds, which got me a pro card. And making me feel even better was the guy that was in my class at the 35 and the guy that was in my class at 40, they both won the overall.
Right.
So the guy that beat me in my height class, and there was like 5 or 6 height classes, they both won the overall. So I could have been really good. I just wouldn't have known. So I was like, okay, I got my pro card. Next year, 2014, I'll do a show and see if I'm worthy of sharing a stage with these guys. If I come in last, I'm not going to do it. I mean, it's fun, and maybe I'll do 1 or 2, but I don't want to embarrass myself either. I thought I was good enough to compete against the pros. So I was going to wait 6 months just to, because I did 7 shows in time. So one thing I hadn't experienced was the rebound.
Right.
I know you warned me about it, and I'm like, don't worry, 2 weeks. I'm just going to eat whatever I want for 2 weeks, and I'll be fine. I gained 25 pounds in 2 weeks, all bad.
That's right, I warned you.
I found myself driving to Chick-fil-A in the morning for breakfast. Like, it was a free-for-all smorgasbord. Like, I was thinking of all the things I ever wanted to eat, and instead of eating 1 a week, I ate 1 every day, or 2, or 3. So I looked at my body, and I said to myself, dude, you look terrible. You need to set a date this year. You need to do a show. So I set a date for the Fort Lauderdale Cup. Mm-hmm. And I worked really, really hard. Like
you did.
You know how I get. I get my tunnel vision.
That's right. I think sometimes people, and I've found this to be true for a lot of competitors, they end up performing better when they're under pressure.
Right.
Or they're behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Oftentimes, I think maybe that had definitely happened to you last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did. I went to the Fort Lauderdale Cup. I was ready. And I didn't know how I was going to do. And I'm standing out there. I did my thing, and I'm standing in line. They're doing the first call out. Of course, I'm not in the first call out. Then they're doing the second call out. And there's only one more guy left for them to call. And I'm standing next to a friend of mine who was also a Masters guy. He just got his pro card with me. And I said to him, don't worry. We got to pay our dues. Don't worry about it. Don't let it get to you. And then they call my name. I made the second call out. And I'm like, see you later. And I kind of felt bad that I got it and he didn't. But that also encouraged me that I belonged. So then Sacramento had a show in 2 weeks, and they had a Masters Pro and a regular Pro. And I was only planning on doing Kentucky, but I'm like, Masters Pro? I got to do this. I don't care. I got to fly another, 3,500 miles and back. I'm going to do it. And I went out there and I got eighth place at, I think, 19 pros.
Right.
And I got third in the Masters. And then I'm like, okay, man, I don't believe this. I just was like so happy. Like, that's one thing. Every show I'm at, I'm smiling ear to ear, backstage, no pressure. Because I guess I came from so far. I was disabled. I was deconditioned. I was just nothing physically at all. I guess my self-esteem was probably down. So I'm so lucky and blessed and happy to be even on stage with these guys.
And I think you're absolutely right. You have one of the best attitudes. That's why I wanted to do this interview, because a lot of people who have wonderful physiques that I've worked with over the years oftentimes can really get into a really bad habit of having a really poor attitude when it comes to losing. I've had people that I've worked with who we would win show after show, literally like 4 or 5 shows in a row, and then they wouldn't win an overall, and they would just be like devastated. And I really felt bad for them in one respect, but then at the other time, it's like they really don't know, this isn't hardship here. You know,
Right.
you know, if you win your class, then you miss the overall, that's not hardship. Even if you got second or third, that's not hardship. Okay, like not being able to work out, not being able to pursue your dreams, that's hardship. And so I think you probably feel this very vividly.
Yeah, I feel like I'm completely blessed, totally lucky. I mean, I know it's not luck that gets me there, but things could have gone another way. Maybe
Right.
my back didn't get better, or maybe I would have been at the gym training legs, which I train legs like all the other physique pros do, and something happened, you know. And I think the 2 hours of abs a week have really
helps, yeah.
in taking pressure off of my disc. Actually, I have 4 bad discs now. I had an MRI taken before Sacramento because I was starting to get some leg pain. 2 of them are herniated, one's hitting the nerve root.
Oh.
So I get spinal decompression to maintain it and to help it get better. And it always works for me, knock on wood. So then I had to do Louisville. It was going to be the 3rd show in 22 days. It was really tough. I flew 10,000 miles total in that span. And that last, because you're the one that tells me what to do. And you're like, Brian, after the show, no more carbs. Start drinking all that water again. And this was the 3rd show in it's a 4-week span, but it was 22 days. And man, that was a tough week before I started eating my carbs again. Like once the carbs came back, I felt better. I had 2 sluggish days. I toughed it out. I went to Kentucky. I found out there was 27 pros. And these guys are ridiculously in shape, phenomenal. I love all these guys too. Their attitudes are so positive. Like, I think mostly positive people are doing this stuff. You know, people that you want to learn from, that you want to be around. It's just contagious. But long story short, there's 27 guys. I set a goal for top 10, and I made 10th. I made the second call out. I'm 43 years old. The guy that won, I think he's 20. Tory Woodward, he could be 26. I think he's in his 20s. And Sacramento was Jeremy Bonita. He's 20. I think 22.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm 43 years old, man. So I feel so happy to be there, and I'm working super, super hard. So this is a year that I could really.
So now, having all this history, having all this coming back from this injury and disability of sorts, so like, and then getting inspired by not only the way you looked, but also by your son. What is and now at the age of 5, your son's 5, you said, right?
Yeah.
So what does he think about all this stuff that Dad does?
First of all, he just thinks that's how life is, really. Like, Daddy goes to the gym. Going to the gym's normal to him. Like, he comes with me. He goes to the kids' club. He plays.
Yeah, so that's what my daughter says. Oh, Daddy, you going to the gym? I'm like, yep, going to the gym.
Yeah, so that it's a lifestyle. So I know he's going to work out because his daddy does. He loves his daddy's muscles. He thinks it's so cool. Like when I got my Cardillo belt and I was posing for it for Facebook, he needed to stand next to me and do a front pose and a back pose. It was adorable. It was adorable. So I feel so good that I'm a positive role model for him physically. But I like to think, mentally and spiritually I am too.
Absolutely.
But I want him to be just sitting on the couch eating food like I used to do.
Right.
Now, one thing I left out was the years of opiates that I was taking from the accident. Well, that's the leading cause of having low testosterone. So my T was like an 80-year-old guy. It was so low. And I got to test it because I saw the commercials with the low T. So I went on testosterone replacement therapy right when my journey started. So my testosterone is always between 600 and 700. I get it checked every 6 months.
Right.
So we can make sure the levels are correct. And I feel that has also benefited me being 43, that I have
absolutely
a younger testosterone level.
Well, absolutely. I think in the future you're going to see a lot of people. As soon as some of the guidelines, I think they need to revise some of the guidelines, and they need to allow the physicians to be able to mediate this process and work with the patients, because some people feel great like you do on 600 to 700. Some people need 800. Some people need 900, and some doctors are just reluctant to do it just because of all the bad press that
Right.
that these compounds have gotten. So,
Normal is anywhere between 350 and 1100.
Yeah.
So it all depends how you are on the spectrum. It has to do with your libido, your energy level.
my experience working with so many athletes, most men in general don't feel good until they're up over 700.
Okay.
That's just in general, but
I guess maybe I was so used to being low
that anything felt better.
that would make me feel good, you know?
So moving forward, like this year, 2014, tell everybody what the plans are for you.
Okay. The plans are I'm going to do the Grand Prix in LA in Culver City on April 12th.
That's John Lindsay's show. Yep.
John Lindsay's show. I'm very excited because he actually has 2 shows this year where he's doing a 40 over.
Yep.
Now, granted, my goal is to make Olympia. I want to make Olympia. But I think if they do the 40 and over and I come out there and they like me, and let's say they pick me as the winner, they might look on me more favorably when the open class comes out.
Right.
And my goal is to make top 5. I mean, I'd like to win. I don't even know what I'm going to look like. I know I put in all the hard work in the off season.
You have.
You doubled not doubled, you increased my calories 50%. So I've been eating clean food all winter. When everyone, like Thanksgiving, holidays, all that. 1 reward meal a week. That's all I've done. And I'm fine. I'm just focused. I probably got, when I look at my pictures from last year and this year, 10 weeks out from a show, I look a lot different. I look a lot better. And I've been doing so much core work that I would not be shocked if I won a show. But if I don't, I'm not going to be disappointed. But
Right.
That's how I have to think. You know, I think I have a chance to win a show. So I'm going to do that show. I'm going to do the Pittsburgh Pro. 3 weeks later, the New York Pro. 2 weeks later, the Denver Wings of Strength. 2 weeks later. So that's 4 shows over a 6-week span. I am nuts. I'm 43. I don't care. I love it. It makes me so happy. I won't do 2 in a row anymore, though. That one, the Sacramento Louisville thing, week apart, is really, really, really tough. I respect anybody that can do that.
Well, if you had a personal message for people out there who might be watching this, who might have been in your condition, what would it be?
Well, first of all, even if you weren't disabled, I was 39. You can see a picture of me that looks like somebody with no hope at all. Seriously, like no hope to look like what I look like or close to it. And if you do the right things, you will be the best you have ever been at any age. Hard work pays off. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And if you keep your tunnel vision going, you eat the food that your coach tells you to eat, you do the cardio, make sure you have a good coach, do the cardio, do the weights, you're going to see things happen that you couldn't believe. And it feels really, really good.
Well, I want to say thank you, Brian. It's always been a pleasure working with you, and it's of course we'll be doing lots more of this kind of stuff hopefully in the future, and I know that your physique will continue to improve because you're just sort of starting out in the game with this stuff. You got your pro card fairly quickly, and your physique has matured, and it's still continuing to mature, and you're getting better and better. So I see several more really great years ahead of you. If you want to continue to do it, but I think I kind of suspect you do.
Yeah, I love it. I can't see myself not doing it.
And I can see I like the way you arranged all your trophies behind you. I guess you got trophies and medals and things. Those are all things.
I'd like to get some more.
That's right. You'll get more. Don't worry about it. So thank you very much. And I hope everybody got a nice snippet of what Brian Epstein's all about here. I think, again, a fantastic athlete. Any last words? Anybody you want to thank or anybody you want to plug?
Well, I'd like to thank ATP Extreme. They get me the ATP, which I don't know if
it's a great product.
Yeah, ATP are the building blocks of energy. So when you take in ATP, you're able to synthesize more energy, do more reps, do more weight.
Especially on those low carb diets.
Yeah, and Protan. I got a sponsorship with Protan. They were nice enough to choose me to be a sponsored athlete.
Fantastic.
I'm going to be proud to be a Protan sponsored athlete. They give me the best color that doesn't come off on me, and my tone looks good, my definition looks great, and I'm real happy to be a sponsored athlete with Protan too.
Awesome. All right, Brian. Well, thank you again, man. We'll be talking this coming week, of course.
Oh, wait, Tad, one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can cut out the one more thing. Put it in the beginning.
That's okay.
I'd really like to thank my parents and my family.
Oh, sure.
So supportive, and all my friends around me that understand that, yes, I'm not the same person anymore. I don't do the same things. I don't go out and party. I don't go out drinking. I am all about going to the gym and eating right and being healthy. And the friends that I had for years and years, most of them are proud of me and support me, but some of them I had to let go because they think what I'm doing is stupid or you know, just they belittle it. And you can't have friends that belittle the things that you do that make you happy, make you proud. And I think most competitors go through this, and it's kind of sad, but you know, that's something that you just have to understand, that you have to do what makes you happy, and you have to drive to be the best you that you can be. And if you can't.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, over the years, I've worked with a lot of athletes, and including myself in the early days, where you really have to sort of sift through some of your significant others, your friends, and the influencers in your life. And some people get this lifestyle, and some people don't. But what's interesting to note is that a lot of people who poo-poo the whole lifestyle, usually it's just because they don't really understand it, and also sometimes when you, as they say, is sort of the old adage, when you point your finger at somebody, there's like three more pointing back at you. Sometimes it's just an indicator for them that they need to make some changes in their lives, oftentimes, and they just don't want to do that. And so anything to move the focus off of themselves. And so sometimes by living a great lifestyle, a positive lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, oftentimes points that finger right back at them, and they don't really. And sometimes people don't really like that. But more importantly, you're absolutely right. When you have something that makes you happy in life, your real friends, your true friends, will support you and will love you for it and will encourage you. But the ones who aren't, the ones who are just in it for the percentage for themselves, right, what you can add to their life, they oftentimes will have something to say about it. They'll oftentimes have something negative to say, or they won't understand the idea. And it's because they have their own agenda at heart. And that's kind of disappointing sometimes, because anytime somebody comes to me and says, "Oh wow, I found something really great that makes me happy," I'm like, "Wait, awesome!"
Right. That's how I am. I don't care what it is. I would not judge anyone as long as they're not, doing illegal stuff. If they make you happy and you found a purpose in your life and you're doing great at it, good for you.
Absolutely.
For you 100%. And
this is like this lifestyle. Being a competitor is often like finding a new girlfriend. Because you know what happens. You get a new girlfriend, and all of a sudden you're spending 24/7 with them, and all your buddies go, "Dude, you're bros before hoes, man." And my response is always, "I don't sleep with you, ho." It's like, this person makes me happy. You should be happy for me.
Right,
and if that's, and when that doesn't happen anymore, we can hang out a little bit more. But the point is that your real friends, oftentimes, whether it's a lifestyle, or whether it's a girlfriend, or whether it's a job, or whether it's moving to a new place, it's, hey, if it's good for you, then they should be happy for you, because that's what friends want for their friends.
If they're not like that, then they're
not really your friend. They're really after something else. And they, and sometimes people just don't realize that that's how they're coming across. I'm giving some people the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Brian. It's been a pleasure as always, and very motivating. And I hope everybody else got something out of this. We'll be doing more of this kind of stuff later on, but maybe we'll do a workout video next time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Anything I could do to motivate people. I realized that showing people at 39 what I look like and what I look like now at 43, that there are a lot of people that think that they can't, and just nobody really can at that age, but it's not true. Work hard, stick to the plan, as you like to say, and good things will happen.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brian. We'll talk to you soon. This is Tad the Diet Coach with IFBB Pro Physique Star Brian Epstein, Masters Guru. I will talk to you. I will see you all soon. Everybody out there, be positive. For more information about Tad the Diet Coach, go to tadthedietcoach.com or like us on Facebook.